Today we're going to talk about Moonbeam. Unfortunately, my camera cannot work because of a new iOS update, but you've got me anyways. Now, Moonbeam is in my opinion, probably one of the biggest holes that we've got in the community, and it is a pretty good bet for the long term with regards to the Ethereum virtual machine. It really does work like Ethereum 3.0, and I think, you know, when we look at this in terms of its use case and stuff like that, but the technicals are massive. Very, very soon at the top of the screen, October 24th, the first dot unlock from the crowd loans is happening. Basically, the amount of money here in the raise funds will be unlocked. It's been 2 years. It's been a quick 2 years. It's been pretty crazy. However, fundamentals of the project would indicate that the price is undervalued versus that because it came out at a very bad time. As you can see, December 21st, 2021. What happened then? The market was crumbling, crashing. In terms of where we are right now, towards the end of the bear market, potentially, even if we have got a couple of months of like death and disbelief, it may well get better. Now, for me, this is my personal opinion. I think that when this is unlocked, a lot of people who still like Moonbeam will put their dot that they put away to get the free tokens into Moonbeam at these incredibly low prices. Because it's kind of common sense. It kind of makes sense as well. So with regards to it, feel free to do your research. There's a lot of people, as I say, have done a lot of research and have been buying this for a while. It's quite a decent ecosystem as well. So let's see where it can go. I am doing this on the log scale because of the price and the fall in the price. But we may well see a massive surge to the upside, potentially, if on this crowd loan, you know, it is quite bullish for some of these projects. As I say, a lot of these parachain projects are really in the mud. They are down massively because of the time in which they came out, so it's a bit ugly. If we are looking at the obvious in terms of like the decline, yeah, it looks horrible, but it came out at a really bad time. This price may well come back. We don't know. We genuinely don't know because it's never had a bull cycle. So it's very much a big, massive question mark, a big grey area. But again, it is, in terms of market capitalization, a low cap. So don't put too much risk in there. Not financial advice, of course, but if you like what Ethereum's doing, if you like speed, the throughput, the ability to actually do things on the Ethereum network using this, you should check it out. There is a lot of good things happening here, and I like it a lot. So in terms of the obvious technicals, right? If we're looking at areas to buy, kind of obvious, isn't it? This is a low. Personally, as I say, I will be putting some crowd loan fundage into Moonbeam. As soon as I get it, it will be converted into Moonbeam. I'm going to top up my bag because I think this is a fantastic area to do. I've been staking for a long time now, almost 2 years. Well, give or take, since I got the token. So from December onwards, I've been staking. It's been nice, steady, passive income. It's been pretty good. Been building my bag on autopilot, which is quite nice. However, that's been said, nothing better than buying with free capital that you've just got back, right? So I'm pretty happy to do so. Doesn't worry me in the slightest if I have to do that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. In terms of where we can go, we've had an obvious level rejection here, which is where we've got to look at 25, 26 cents. If you know this, in my previous kind of post not too long ago, I was buying Moonbeam down here and I actually sold around 24 cents. I actually bought way too early. I kind of flapped it and just bought too early. I should have just kept my money out and then I could have bought even more and I would have got even more units back, right? But my bad on that one. It happens. But that is the obvious simple lines of technical analysis here. But when we could look at the higher time frames and look to see where we can go, obviously there's a big obvious swing here, right? There's a big correctional wave potential here where we've already went and retested this. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be perfect, but we could actually go much lower here. This doesn't shock me in the slightest due to the fact that we still got potentially 3 to 6 months before halving. Hype around Bitcoin may well happen and we may well actually see a further fall in the BTC pairs on a lot of these assets, right? That equals opportunity. As I say, I'm more than happy to put my money into this because it's a bear market. A lot of altcoins are getting smashed. It doesn't take much to work out the dominance of Bitcoin right now. It doesn't take much to work out that others.d is going down. People are seeing altcoins getting overshone massively by Bitcoin. Doesn't mean that they're bad projects. What you need to look for, and I say this all the time, projects with developments, things working, growing ecosystems, growing wallets, actual updates, doing things that you want them to see. Most of the polkadot ecosystem is still active, it's still working, which is great to see. That is a big, massive tick. If we are looking to go higher, obviously, yes, we've got a correction. We could correct much higher up to about 35 cents. We could also go to 43. For me, I do have a feeling that we're going to bounce at some point. I think a lot of liquidity will come into a market like this. And when we look at the likes of the volume on Moonbeam, I think it's worth noting as well, there's still a decent chunk of volume. It's not like it's died completely. When you think of the price, you think of the market cap and you think of the volume, it's pretty decent, right? So we may get a pump, but it may not be as crazy in terms of fast. Whereas what I mean by this is it might be a liquidity crunch. What that would indicate that there may well be lack of liquidity, a couple of million comes in and it will shoot to the upside. We've already had stuff like this. This had a big shoot, came back down. May well happen again. So be mindful of the volatility. Try and be as patient as possible, but we may well see an upside move first before we go down, right? Remember, bear markets, we're not quite finished yet. In terms of everything else, that is kind of obvious, really. We've got some potential downward targets. As I say, 11 cents wouldn't be too bad. Doesn't really worry me in the slightest. I'm just going to dollar cost average in, and I'm quite happy to do so. Mentioned this before, I've got a lot of BTC that I want to use. That BTC will come in very, very handy when these are at low levels. But ultimately, it's just the way the market is right now. It's just how it is. In terms of, as I say, we could see an upside move. Wouldn't shock me in the slightest if we do start to see some areas, but this might be a bit varied if this goes lower before the price obviously changes with regards to those releases. In terms of other things, as you can see from the overall upside picture here, if we're going to look from basically the top to the bottom, there's a massive amount to correct here, huge amount of correction. However, we shall see. We shall see where it all goes. For me, fundamentals, it looks undervalued. It looks massively undervalued. It's giving me vibes that this will probably do all right in the future. Even if we see $1, $2, $3, it's going to be a massive upside run from here. Remember, the Ethereum blockchain has some issues. This is essentially Ethereum running on Polkadot. Polkadot is a much more effective machine, especially when 2.0 comes out. Be very, very interesting to see what 2.0 of Glimmer will look like. So there we go. Don't want to go too deep on the technicals. I do think price-wise, it's going to be in and around this area potentially when we start seeing some unlocks. As I say, I do genuinely believe that people will buy because they're not going to be selling their DOT. They're probably going to use it. And a parachain project, let's be honest here, that has seen some massive lows. They're probably going to go, well, I might as well dollar cost average. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you want me to cover more technical analysis on other assets, leave a comment and let me know.